All right, welcome back, everyone. It's 41 past. Joining us this morning, we have Tim Grams and B.G. Bradley. Thank you for joining us today, guys.
Thank you.
Now, you're just part of the company putting on Shakespeare, and like I was just confessing to the guys, what I know about Shakespeare is you can spell his name a couple of different ways, and that's about it. So tell us a little bit, for people who aren't familiar with this story, what's King Lear about?
Well, King Lear is the story of an old king, a mighty warrior king, who gives up his kingdom to his daughters. Two of the daughters are dishonest, and they abuse King Lear. And the youngest daughter, who is very honest, says that she will not play the game that he wants to play, and he disowns her. And as a result, the kingdom falls completely apart. Now, a lot of people might be interested to know that this is the basis for Game of Thrones. Oh. This is where George R.R. Martin got the idea for Game of Thrones. So if you're a fan of that, you're going to be very interested in this. I always caution people not to be, confused by the Shakespearean language, because it was meant for, mass audiences. And if you just be patient a little bit, it'll work out great. There is mature subject matter in the show. So I would say elementary school kids would probably, definitely need some parental guidance.
Gotcha. Now, Tim, you play Edgar, and you were telling me his character is kind of interesting because he actually slowly goes crazy. Well, how do you even begin to prepare for something like that?
Well, that's it's a lot like with a lot of other roles. I concentrate on research.
Okay.
I'll look up what might drive people crazy. I'll investigate what might push people over the brink. And for Edgar, it's the abuse of his family.
Okay.
And yeah, he goes into hiding for a while. He goes a little nuts and then runs into Lear. And then the plot skyrockets.
And I think that's the great part about Shakespeare. He had so many layers to all of the stories he did. While I might not be able to quote you stuff, you can't deny that he's got like timeless stories.
Absolutely. Yes. And there's always a plot and a subplot, and sometimes a subplot. And of course the language is just so rich. It's the best language that's ever been written in English. So it's just terrific stuff, and not to be missed.
Fantastic. Now, I know you play King Lear himself, and you said that there's a little difference this year because while a lot of times you depend on some of the younger students, there are a lot of adults in this play.
It is mostly adults. In fact, there are only 4 students, high school students in it. And so this is kind of a departure for the Westwood Shakespeare Company, but it's something we're hoping to build on. We're hoping to run a 2-tiered company where we'll have the high school and then a community theater branch, which is what this is launching this year, and we hope to do this for many years to come. Nice.
Now, there's actually 2 places where people can see the show. Could you fill us in on that?
Sure. We are premiering tonight at Westwood Auditorium in Westwood High School, and that goes through Saturday at 7:30, and then next week, beginning next Tuesday, we'll be at the Fraser Boathouse, the Lake Superior Theater in Marquette, from Tuesday through Friday. All shows start at 7:30.
All right, so check it out. It's going to be a fantastic time, and really and truly, like you were saying, a timeless story that a lot of adults can really get into.
Absolutely.
Gentlemen, I want to thank you so much for joining us this morning, letting us look behind the curtain a little bit at King Lear and get an understanding of this phenomenal show. Now, speaking of which, it's all based off of great words and great food are both found at the Peter White Public Library, and that's where we're going to send off and find out what Ashley Cookland is cooking up this morning in a minute.